listener communications. You are listening to Brothers of the Serpent podcast. I cannot hear myself.
Uh-oh.
At all. One bit.
Welcome back. It's my life. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angels and demons and monsters and serpents. This is Brothers of the Serpent podcast, and we are coming to you live from the 10 by 10 by 10 tangent cube of science, where we are nestled amongst the dusty bones of an ancient seabed high atop the Edwards Plateau, and we are having no technical difficulties at all. None
Zero
whatsoever.
mistakes.
Zero mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. So, Laura, are you able to hear yourself yet?
Hey, yeah, there I am.
Ah, there you
Neo
go.
Hippie says it was okay, so maybe it was all right.
There's lots of people trying to give you advice in the chat, Kyle, on how to fix everything.
Wild
turn it
Vic.
off, turn it back on.
I'm wearing this bracelet, girl.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I need a board. I mean, I have a board right there,
Yeah. Why didn't
but it's really not the solution.
It's not the solution. Okay.
Because then I don't have individual tracks. Well, I mean, I guess. Actually, I might be able to do that with ADAT. Okay, I could do it with the board. It does have ADAT audio interface.
Ah.
Maybe I could have individual audio recordings as well as compressors on our freaking microphones.
Yeah,
so that
see,
we can
that's
yell.
That's what he wants is the compression.
I want compression.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this rookie moves.
See,
stuff.
Matt's telling you how to do it too. Turn it off and turn it back on. Well, we have this philosophy here, which is that if we're going to try brand new, entirely new setups in the studio, we start working on them 30 minutes before the show goes live. That's
Yep, that's how that works.
That's our MO. And then we can't quite get it back to the way it was supposed to be before because it didn't work. So then we're making adjustments during the show. So it's just, this is standard
I
Snake Bros.
spun the potato on the computer, and it still was glitchy when I had software monitoring on.
Oh, so I know what it is. It's Grumpy Morning Russ, and then it's Grumpy Pre-Show Kyle.
He's usually not grumpy pre-show. This is just
Well, but there's technical difficulties all the time, and
yeah.
he's over there.
And usually he's like, well,
in the
but this
I
time
don't
he
know.
tried to do a complete rework and fix all problems, and it didn't work at all.
But anyways, it's all good.
Yeah.
The computer, it's a great computer, but I need a new interface. I would like to thank the...
I think we need a new studio computer. That thing has all kinds of weird problems.
No, it doesn't. All right, maybe. But I would like to thank the supporters of the show for the new headphones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not
And-
me. I didn't. I have my old pieces of crap, but
Yeah,
they've
well-
got brand new headphones.
right here.
Yeah.
Those are not pieces of crap. I
No, they're
looked
not.
those up.
I know.
I was thinking about buying another set of those, and they're $250.
That was my favorite pair until I got these.
But yeah, so thank you all very
Yeah,
much.
thank
I
you
also
so
got
much.
a new mic stand coming for him that's a low profile.
Yep.
Thank you. Yep.
And yeah, really appreciate the ability to
Upgrade.
upgrade the studio.
Ability to upgrade. Thanks, Snake Force.
So yeah, appreciate it, you guys.
Look at that. You got a donation, bro. Thanks, Viking. Viking
going,
Gaming. Another great start, Kyle.
Yeah.
You're professional over here.
There's somebody in the Discord. Maybe it was you. It was like, we're not here for professional. Keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. If we wanted a professional TV, we'd turn on the satellite television. Yeah. Appreciate that, guys.
And yeah, last time I was also supposed to be monitoring the PayPal for donations, and I didn't do that.
Yeah, so and I would say this time I pinned in the chat, I pinned something that has a link to the support page on the website. So if you want to donate if you don't want to donate through YouTube, which is fine. Some people don't like doing that. You can go to that link in that pinned note there, and it'll take you to the support page, which has PayPal or Patreon or Bitcoin or Ethereum, if you prefer to use any cryptos. So there's that.
Copy this.
And then maybe Kyle will monitor the PayPal this time. Try to.
I still don't have any jobs. I still just get to sit
You're
here.
doing your job.
Yeah, you're doing your job.
Keep people from looking at me.
Well, do we have so since we're doing a listener communications, we're doing the old format, right? So what do we got? Ag update? You got anything in ag?
Oh, I love the ag updates. This is becoming one of my favorite parts.
Kyle doesn't want to say anything.
Let's see.
Sam, thank you, buddy.
I taught Johnson how to use the sprayer.
Oh yeah.
So he's been doing the spraying for me, which has been great. Today I
He
burned
took my
sulfur
job.
in like 30 barrels.
Yep, I could tell when I
And I
walked
almost
into the
died.
winery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So last time I did it, they were all back in the very back of the winery, and there was so much stuff in the front. There was giant tanks and pallets of bottled wine, and what else? A bunch of other stuff. And so I couldn't move them out without moving everything else out. And so I burned sulfur back there, and it was horrible. I needed a World War I gas mask for that.
Yeah, dude, I walked into the winery. I'm like, hey, bro.
But today, yeah, everything has been shifted around since Russ finished the labeling. So I had the barrels able to bring them right up to the front, and I opened up the giant rolling door and opened the side door and opened the back door, and I burned in there. I burned sulfur in all the barrels, which are these little sticks, and you put them in this little container that's hanging from a bung that goes into the barrel. And you light them with a torch and then drop them in there. So there's like sulfur smoke coming out. It smells like a smoke bomb,
Okay.
basically. Rotten eggs.
Oh,
But
it's
the
pretty bad.
gas, the sulfuric gas is just, man, if you get, you breathe some of that in, it's like.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was trying to avoid it as much as I could. But then when it was all done, I stopped up all the barrels, put them back in the winery and closed it. But, they've been in there for a while now with no wine in them, and I think they leak. Because the first time I did it, once I put the bung in it,
Oh yeah, yeah.
no sulfur came out.
So when there's wine in the barrels, it keeps the wood wet and
It's
the wood
expanded.
stays swollen and expanded, and so they don't leak. But if they dry out, the wood can shrink and it can cause tiny leaks.
So I kept working in the winery with the doors closed, and then Russ walks in and he's like, I'm like, oh, maybe I need to open it up.
Kyle's like, "What is it bad?" I'm like, "It's it's
I
all
was
right."
just sitting there like getting used to it.
oh man.
Anyway, so I opened it all up, aired it all out, and he came back in and he was like, oh yeah, this is way better. And then he left, and I kept working in there. I closed it all back up, and I was working in there. And then later Johnson came in, and he was like, hey, so, anyway,
Well, maybe that's why you're grumpy. You couldn't get anything to work.
can you be more careful,
Your brain's
please?
not working right now. You're freaking full of sulfur gas. So can you tell people like why this is done? Like what is the reason?
well,
What's the
it
history?
just kills everything, including people.
Including the people that are trying to do it in the barrels. Yeah.
So yeah, you're just trying to keep any yeast or bacteria or anything from.
Then isn't there
growing.
some history?
Yeah, apparently the Romans used to burn sulfur candles in the barrels because they figured out that kept them fresh.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. Like, what happens to the wax? They just wonder how they did
Couldn't you
that.
do the barrel upside down with the candle sticking up into the?
Of course, that's how they did it. How did they get the air?
See,
in?
I would have been a good Roman.
Yeah, you
What?
How did they get oxygen in there? I mean, I don't know. I've
I
never.
don't
seen,
know,
maybe maybe the candle is not actually wax.
Could be. Yeah.
It's just a
A
big
taper.
stick of sulfur.
Yeah.
Because this stuff, I mean, these things are like in this fiber, and when they really start cooking, it's like boiling liquid,
Whoa.
Yeah.
black liquid on the top, and it's burning. It's got a blue flame, and the smoke coming off of it is yellow.
Whoa.
It's very interesting. But
Okay, so you've burned barrels and anything else?
cleaned the winery, reorganized everything, and made it as best as I could, and then
Yeah, it looks good in there.
yeah, that's pretty much what I was doing
Post
all-
bottling operation, and then we went to the Scablands, and so coming back, Kyle and Johns cleaned a bunch of stuff, and now he's reorganized everything, and it looks good.
Yeah, I'm
Now we're ready for the next bottling operation, and then we're going to have a huge racking operation after that. So we're going to make
In other words,
we're
we're
going to
gonna-
make another giant mess.
yeah taking all the wine out of the barrels into a tank, cleaning the barrels, and then putting the wine back in. Yeah.
Yep.
So I was kind of prepping for that because we needed the space and everything. It was just looking crappy in there, and I don't like it when it looks like that. So I
Yeah.
got it cleaned up. It's very nice.
And there's a million peaches.
There are a lot of peaches. And
Come on down and pick your peaches.
randos were just showing up at the vineyard. Where are the peaches? I was told to come pick. What? How much do they cost? I'm like, I don't know. Then I start texting people, and they're like, I don't know. They sent out an email, just told people to just come.
Come on down to
So
Turtle
that
Creek
made me
and
mad.
Yeah, that's
Pick some
not cool.
peaches.
You did
Bother
not want to
Kyle
see me
at-
that day. I feel bad for those people that showed up. I'm like, I have no idea. No one told me. But I guess go out there and get some, and I'll charge you money, and I don't know how much.
And the bees.
Bees are doing great. We just got the equipment in for our first actual minor harvest of honey. I mean, I don't, and I've never planned to do like full harvesting of these hives because
Yeah.
they're really for fertilization and just. I'm not planning on trying to really harvest them like crazy, but they are making their honey this year fully. It's totally natural. I'm not feeding them, not supplementing anything. I gave them some food.
cool.
I gave them some food over the winter, but there's so many flowers out there right now. They're just loaded. And like I go and watch, I check them a couple times a week. I drive out there and sit and watch, and they're just coming in and landing with their back legs cut like full. The pollen pockets are completely full, crammed, and and they're
Wow.
walking in, and then the other ones are coming out, taking off. So they're just doing.
Thieves.
Yes, they're doing great. So hopefully, we'll be able to harvest some honey. I'm planning on. I'm thinking of maybe taking, like each super box, the box of supers on the top of the hive, which is where you would harvest the honey, has 10 frames in it. So I'm thinking of maybe taking 4 out of
Okay.
those. We'll see. We'll see what we got. It's possible that some of them I could take more than that, maybe 8, because they have so much. Each hive now has 2 full hive boxes, and those are full of honey and brood, like the eggs. So that's 20 big frames, and then the super's on top of that. So if they've loaded up the super, they're going to be full. So
The wild beehive up in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
When they run out of space in there, do they just stop?
yeah, so that's interesting. Like they will only hatch what they can, what the hive can handle. So they'll hatch the eggs as needed.
So then when they reach max capacity, they just continue to just make the honey and
Yeah.
just like we're
Yeah, or
maxed
they
out.
move, or the hive splits. Right, they'll hatch a
Oh.
queen, and she'll go out and take half the hive with her.
They buzz off.
Yeah, they buzz off.
Does that tree start making better honey the longer it's been around? Is it like that? Is it like
That's a good
fine
question.
wine kind of?
Oh, you mean like does an older hive make better honey than
Yeah,
a
I
young
wonder.
hive?
Not necessarily.
No, yeah. It really, a big part of it is the queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
The queen, it's weird, but she supplies like all of the major hive characteristics, the strength, the robustness of the hive, the work ethic of the bees, whether they're energetic or lethargic, all comes from the queen and her pheromone cloud.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can get bad, and then if she gets like if she's goes insane or something, has like mental problems or whatever, starts doing weird stuff, the bees will kill her.
Yep.
And lay new.
And
Queen
hatch
eggs.
new
I
queens.
remember you telling
Yeah.
me this.
Yeah.
They'll have queen eggs that they will just like leave just in case, right?
Yeah.
They're like backup queens. And so they'll hatch one if they need to split. They'll hatch one if their queen is getting old or is getting crazy or is getting weird or has been injured or has died. So yeah, or maybe there's a revolt.
First of all, Carl, you're married, dude.
What?
You need to cut that out. You need to get those divvy papers out and sign them and get the old divvy with the old format.
Oh, okay. This is a format problem. Yeah. Some
Yeah,
people
I
are
was
still
so
married to the old format. Yeah. You guys need to get those divvy papers.
He thought he could sneak that comment by me.
Yeah.
I saw it.
What else? I saw some donations. Did we lose them?
Yeah, they're back there. Really appreciate
I saw Animator and Fiddler. That's there he is, $10. Hey, buddy. I'm glad you could catch us live. Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Sam,
Sam.
back of the bus for live.
Sam. Nice. Nice acronym.
Hey, Neo, thank you. Professional moment goes on Kyle's. What is it? Yeah. It needs to go on your CV, buddy.
Thank you very much, I think. And Fibro Fox, also Sam.
Yes, another Sam. What's up,
Two
Fox?
somethings.
2 pounds.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, that was your ag update. Uh-oh.
Should work. I plugged it in.
0 mistakes.
What is going on with it? Look, it's working.
It is there. Yeah, we just can't hear it. Maybe they can hear
Not
it.
making any sound. All right.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy that you can just come in here completely screw up and it seemed to be okay.
Well, that's just the way it's been from
Yeah,
the
it's
beginning.
cool.
I know,
I
it's-
think it's a cool thing.
It's
you
never
know?
changed.
Yeah.
This thing.
Are we ready to move on to something else?
Yeah. But now I'm ready to start. Do we have a rock and roll update? We do, don't we? Or did you do that last show?
Oh, there's a rock and roll update.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh yeah. I did mean to do that.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
get sidetracked by all this crap.
you guys see this?
This is big.
You guys see this?
We got it.
Look at this.
It's here.
Oh yeah.
This is the pre-session vinyl set. Yes. Now talk about professional, folks. This is why $50 Dynasty is not associated with Snake Bros at all, because they are professional. Unlike this podcast. So yeah, what is this? What is it? Double set?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 records.
Yeah, and they're the
yeah.
180 grain.
Lyrics for all the songs are all here, and of course Kyle's like cool processional astrological artwork, sacred geometry. My name is written on the back of this multiple times. I was very important in the making of this record.
So, did you put the video you were working on the other day? Has that been released anywhere yet?
No. Nope.
There's a little surprise coming.
Well, maybe in 2 months. I turned it over to Ty.
Yeah, so we turned it over to Ty, so you guys will never see it. But how do people get the record? I mean, you can get it. You can get it closer to the camera than I could. I was
It's
way
not
back
up
here.
for sale yet. We're working on the store. We are actually, well, not we, but Chris is going to be mailing them himself. So we opted for that instead of leaving it online. So they're setting up a store. He's going to get it figured out. But yeah, this is one of the.
So yeah, you
stickers.
you got a old constellation that spins around the center there when you're playing the record.
Yeah.
It's full of symbolism,
Black.
ladies and gentlemen.
Little black sleeves.
So nice.
It's beautiful.
So impressed.
I love it. But I don't have a good needle. We need to buy a needle.
Yes, I have great turntables for my DJ setup, but the needles are old and I used them for DJing, so they're not in good condition. So we got to get new needles. I can do that.
Yeah, it's probably a little blurry. But yeah, they're going to be $55. We did a lot of accounting, trying to figure out what to do there. And yeah, it's $55 and then $45 for patrons. So,
Oh, okay, nice.
yeah.
So
It's a little expensive. but, I mean,
animator and fiddler again, $20. Sold house. More news coming. Trying to catch up.
thank you very much.
You're an artist, right? Can I dox you, bro? I mean, can I dox your name? I think I remember your name, but I think you're a good artist. He sends me these great emails full of artwork. So
Yeah, the constellations on the record, some of them may, well, I'm not going to say anything. Troy, I'm
not gonna give any
I'm
clues
not gonna
out.
give any clues out. There's
Well, you just did something.
Yeah, well, we'll let y'all figure it
Well,
out.
we'll move on.
When they're for sale, and it will be soon. You'll be able to order them online, and we will ship anywhere. So,
Hey, there you go. Why not? How come not 50? Did you forget your band name? Why aren't they $50?
I know. I know.
You're getting trolled, bro.
Hey, girl.
At least they're not 72, which is like what we were thinking about doing. And we came down on the prices, and as far as I was willing to go, it's a very expensive process.
Lala C, bring some to Cosmic Summit.
Yeah, flying with records.
I don't know.
Maybe. I guess I could do that.
$55
I don't know
Dynasty.
much. I don't-
$55 Dynasty because of inflation?
Yeah,
That's a
that's
great
what it
comment
is.
from Green Tea there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we could do Space for the News, but we don't have music.
We will basically it's still sort of under the value for value thing now that we have the records and we control the selling of them, so people can pay whatever they want. As long as it's above $55. That's the minimum.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. We went as low as we could. So
There it is. Animator and fiddler is David March. Great artist, animator, and tormentor of stringed instruments.
nice.
How
Thanks,
would
buddy.
I see this art? How?
Well, I can show you some of the emails he sent, but
Okay.
I think he probably has a website. I'm not sure.
Well,
he
I'd
might
like
be
to
he
take
might
a
be
look.
old school. He's a old school animator and
Okay.
fiddler. He says.
Well, that was the rock and roll update, and here's the bumper you can't hear. Sounds great.
Excellent.
I want to stop it and start it again real quick. Can I do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Stop what and start?
See, for some reason, that's what it needed.
All right. Well, give me Space Weather News then.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Let's have it. From spaceweather.com, where we get all our space weather news. Minor geomagnetic storm watch. NOAA forecasters say that minor G1 class geomagnetic storms are possible on June 2nd, when a stream of solar wind is expected to hit Earth's magnetic field. The gaseous material is flowing from a pair of holes in the sun's atmosphere. Also, there are something called pollen coronas. Something in the air is making the sun over Finland look unusual. This is pollen. Pollen, says Miko something, who photographed the phenomenon on May 30th from the city of somewhere near the Baltic Sea. The air is sparkling and the sun is surrounded by pastel rings. These are called pollen coronas, caused by sunlight being scattered from swarms of pollen in the air. The sparkles in the photographs are some of the individual grains of pollen. Viewed through a microscope, pine pollens look like Mickey Mouse ears. The ears are air sacs, which act like little sails for riding on the wind, and air currents naturally align the mouse ears in the same direction, and this is why the pollen coronas tend to be elliptical rather than circular. That is interesting to me, but I'm a huge nerd. Okay, current
That is
conditions.
cool.
Solar wind speed is 401.5 kilometers per second. Density is 6.11 protons per cubic centimeter. Current sunspot number is 144. The neutron count right now is 1% below the space age average. And the KP index is 3, which
I
is
knew
at
it.
the upper end of the quiet range. And Kyle
That's why I'm grumpy.
Kyle predicted this. Yeah, that's right. Because the KP index is at 3.
Yeah,
He doesn't
Kyle
like that.
pissed. It's the Kyle pissed index.
The KP index is level 3. It's just grumpy, right? It's not
just
not
grumpy.
angry.
All right, thanks for that. I don't
Yeah.
think I have any news stories. I was reading some interesting stuff. I forgot to bookmark it. I've just been, I don't know, so busy.
That's okay.
Let me see if
We have tons of emails, so
yeah, that's true. We can just jump into those. We got a few more minutes
A few more minutes of what?
on this first.
on this segment.
Yeah, I'm not really sure I can even play any bumper music, but we'll try. Stupid thing. I need to get a board.
Yeah, that was the other thing is Kyle did so much work trying to fix the studio stuff that now he's broken the ability to play bumper music on the
I just didn't take any time to set anything up. So maybe I'll do that right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I can read at least one email. This is really long. Like we've got some epic tomes today in emails, ladies and gentlemen. So this one is in response to episode 279, written in stone. And let's see, who is this? This is, they sign it as TD. Okay. Hey guys, I just watched your latest and most fascinating contribution, having seen most or all of Ben's work on pre-dynastic Egyptian structures and artifacts. The schist disc is quite clearly to me a wheel trim from a 4,000 to 5,000 year old SPMT. How else might huge granite columns have been transported along the Nile Valley? I call these vehicles a Texas go-kart after they're used by SpaceX at Boca Chica, Texas, where they are the most ubiquitous transport of heavy loads. If one could gain access to this disc for a detailed scan and have a few knocked up for my car, I'd roll up outside the New Egypt Museum and ask for, what's his name, that guy who seems to deny all knowledge of pre-dynastic civilization, once even the findings in Göbekli Tepe. I'd like to see the expression on his face just before he's forced to tell me that I don't exist. And then I'd open up the boot to show him my tool set of copper chisels and pounding stones with a dollop of diorite for a spare wheel to prove my bona fides. But there are no tools left in Egypt overnight. But seriously, I found the tenor of your contribution so much in line with my experience as an artist and engineer. To me, art and engineering are the same subject, but different disciplines within a commonality defined by the laws of mathematics. Now well into my 70s with 66 years of experience, from the naive till now that I'm actively engaged in aircraft design, not bits, but the whole thing. And I can't call my art a relaxing pastime either, for it demands the same intensity of input and it is every bit as challenging. Just dial up mathematics and art or vecteezy.com. Google has a bibliography for your perusal. But your verbal analysis points out to me two major omissions, Archimedes and Leonardo, whom I'm sure would have enjoyed your discourse and no doubt would have contributed so much had they been invited. Well, we did invite them, bro. They declined to show up for that episode. But you questioned as to how might an artist understand the strictures of the geometries you point out, as unsigned.io's stunning input would suggest. If you're neither artist nor engineer, that would be quite understandable. But throughout my education in both disciplines, I've been made well aware of these, which I apply consistently in either field. The two most venerable gentlemen mentioned above would have had much to say on that matter, and it is much of their work that we as students were instructed to take serious note of. I have no idea as to the erstwhile education curriculum in the U.S., but here in the UK, the 60s state education system provided us with a full toolkit of knowledge to venture out and gain experience with. Mark and his colleague have achieved the most remarkable expose of the hidden truths in design, but nothing there comes as a surprise, save his bringing it to our further attention. A good student with a modicum of perceptive ability would soon see the art in mathematics, and the mathematics in art, for both Leonardo and Archimedes, might so well have been our foremost tutors. Kepler, Leibniz, and Newton gave us insight into physics, while Trevithick and Parsons were on call for further study with Stevenson, Whittle, Diesel, Peter, and Ricardo to drive us forward. Vitruvius, Wren, and Turner provided further enlightenment in architecture and art. So many tutors from history were made available to us, just some of the guys who helped the Industrial Revolution on its way. If you are able to have further discourse with Mark, I, for one, will watch in studious anticipation. Static geometries are the foundation of engineering in every form, even down to the structure within molecules and crystalline forms. All are hidden in plain sight. Why do artists use mathematical ratios to such great effect? It's the understanding of why that's revealing. When that vase was recovered, mightn't someone have neglectfully thrown the instructions away, water daily, or keep in a cool, dry place, or best before 3970 BC, etc.? More importantly, the OEM datasheet. Might not this vase and other artifacts actually be dependent on mathematics for their production, just as we employ software in both design and manufacture now? Could it be just one of a run? I joke only slightly, but did not production costs have any part to play, or was this piece a one-off precisely intended to set us thinking? Has anyone seen Pandora's Box recently? That reality was a jar. Subsequently, my thoughts on artifacts in general. Has anyone picked up on the fact that they are, for the most part, volumes of revolution and neither rectilinear nor orthogonal in form? The exceptions, of course, are to be found at the Serapeum, but those are of much greater dimension and would indicate to me the size of tooling involved. No small trinket boxes and the like are evident. Ben, you would probably know much more about this. You're the only guy so far with much of a chance to answer all this. Now, what about that Cusco wall? If you can get Leonardo in for your next chat while Archimedes is on hand brewing tea in the kitchen, we could still do with much advice and maybe even rustle up some ancient intoxication together for a most enlightening session. Cheers and many thanks for such an interesting study. Much exciting work for all of us to do. From TD. Yeah, it would be great to get Archimedes on the show. If anybody knows him, let him know. I think Marty might know him.
I don't think that vase is a one-off.
Nope. Production costs were probably involved, and yeah, it was probably part of a big run.
So this was going around a while about some clay pot that had the striations on the outside of it or whatever, were actually getting sound of the area during the making of the pot. Have you heard this?
No, what?
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
not quite sure.
I heard that it was possibly also it turned out to be false. But the idea was that
Okay.
somebody had, like, imagine you have a potter's wheel and you have an arm or a tool that the person is slowly cutting or molding the final, surface of the outside of the pot.
Mm-hmm.
And so while it's spinning, there's all this noise in the marketplace. There's booming sounds, there's talking and all this stuff, and it's vibrating. All of the sound is vibrating the tool.
Yeah.
And so there's minute vibrations
okay.
being recorded like a record into this
That's
clay pot. And so with detailed analysis, they could reconstruct the sound, maybe I don't know at what definition, but something of the sound of the area. So that's what I heard. Then I heard that it was false. But it just made me think that, like, what if, because the striations show up on the insides of these vases, the outside is perfectly polished, the inside has clear striations.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be interesting if those vases, if like the inside of those vases were actually a record, like an analog record, like a code was put in or something like that in the striations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So it's like taking a record, which is a flat plate, like a vinyl, and you just form it up into a vase shape.
Mm-hmm.
The vinyl is then, or the actual information is protected, right?
Yeah.
It can be
Given that the
accessed.
record is one-sided. Yeah.
Yes, the record is one-sided. The information can be protected, and yet it's also something that would be useful to people, and people would find it beautiful, and they would keep it. and
Yeah.
they would
Yep.
revere it and do it. And so I don't know. I just thought that was really cool to think of, like,
That is cool.
they actually encoded all this information into the inside of these things,
Yeah.
and then they were collected by people because they were so amazing. Anyway, way off on a tangent, but the point was, I don't think they're one-offs,
No.
and I don't think they were just to get us thinking. I think there's more to it. Maybe it's, the result of just their engineering capability, or maybe they were particularly interested in making these mathematical for some to like encode information. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think part of what what this guy was saying in his email is that to him, as a longtime engineer and artist, that his reaction to all the math and art being involved in this vase was like, his reaction was, of course, this is how we do it. Like when you're,
Yeah.
when you learn from the old school masters,
Yeah.
and you've been taught in a good way and you've done this a long time, you're like, yes, of course. Like, I'm not just engineering some object purely for function, but I also want it to be beautiful. And a
Yeah.
lot of times the function merges into the beauty because all the math is the same. That's kind of what I got from
Yeah,
it.
and this would be.
And he was also telling us he wasn't too sure about our education since we didn't already know that. That's also what he was saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't paying attention for most of it.
No, it was totally legit.
I was trying to set up some music, but I agree. But this would be an example of like the oldest art. So were they learning from like you did? You know, when what you're learning from, like as a modern person being trained in classical art or whatever, of course you're learning these principles from people who were repeating them and using them from older and older and older sources.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the oldest sources.
That's right. Yeah. This predates all of these people he was mentioning in
Yeah.
his email. Yeah.
So, but the other thing is a mathematician looked at Mark.io's, Mark.io, unsigned.io.
yeah. Mark Kvist.
Mark Kvist,
Yeah.
and just without doing a whole lot of digging, just the basic idea was, yes, I can see how these things would arrive because you're, either as an artist seeking to create a harmony within the object.
Yeah.
So maybe it's chance. I don't know. I'm just saying, a mathematician. Initial thoughts are at least what?
Look at what he said. Is this who we're talking to?
No.
Oh. Well, anyway. I think you need a diaphragm.
I think you need a diaphragm to. So this is from Animator Fiddler.
Yeah, this is David.
I think you need a diaphragm to pick up the vibrations of the air molecules. Alternating compression and rarefactions is such a creepy phrase. But how does a smartphone do it? Well, everything is vibrating to the sound. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're talking about the tool being vibrated, is it enough to make such an impression in clay that you could actually read that later? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, this beer is vibrating to every tone of my melodious voice.
And then I love Solid Luigi. Honey, where did you put that record base I made for our wedding vows? Husband looks at the base just used for the oil change. I like that. It's good comment.
I like how Laura points. She's like, look at
Look at that
Look at
one.
what he's saying.
Look at that one. Why do you guys read that one? Somebody read that one.
Randy wants some of what I'm vaping. It's nicotine.
Yep. We have nicotine.
Smoke a smoke.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
If we can.
Well, first I will just click this.
Yep. That works. That worked.
And then I will click this.
In the night, my mind comes alive. In the dark, the spark is a bright light. And I could see you so much clearer then. You were a beacon on my horizon. In the twilight, I can't tell which way is right. Then the dawn reveals the road that I've been on. And I can see you in my mirror now. In the past, but with me until the last. And I could feel you so much closer then. It was a flow, its motion slowed. Yeah, and I can feel it crystallizing in this phase state, too thin to remain in the liminal. I can't tell which way to go. Then the bond reveals the way the light is gone. And I can feel you so much closer now. Soon to come, a world beyond. Yeah. And I could feel it crystallizing in that flow state. Everyone is the same.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers of the Serpent podcast, joined by Laura,
Hey.
listener communications.
Yeah, I forgot to introduce Laura at the beginning. Sorry
No,
about
I
that.
think
Thanks
you
for
did.
joining
I
us,
think
Laura.
we did.
Did I?
Thanks, Matt, for the extra $5 for Kyle.
Oh, appreciate that.
Yeah. DJ Kyle.
Yeah, a little sneak peek right there. And I'm not sure who it was. Pushing Wind must be a trumpet player, because, or at least a horn player. He recognized the horn. That is a trumpet with a Harmon mute, and it sounds like a sax. It kind of does.
Yeah.
I love it. But anyway, listener communications.
Yeah. We got plenty of emails.
All right.
Okay. This one is, let's see. This is from Colin. He says, "Morning, snakes. Drinking. This is drinking. Drinking's here again. Just got home from Mexico. And Teotihuacan is pretty incredible. I have one main point regarding this site that I wanted to write about. The story told us by our guide was that the Aztecs did not build these pyramids or this site, found them. The Aztecs seemingly had no knowledge of who built it. There's all sorts of star stuff encoded in strange acoustic properties at the site. The guide also claimed that the Aztecs modeled a lot of their society and artwork on what they found after discovering Teotihuacan. Okay, I gotta stop. It's too long to do that whole thing. Teotihuacan, by the way, is a Nahuatl word meaning birthplace of the gods or place where gods were born. It seems like some is known about the original builders or inhabitants, though material culture and some scientific analysis of human remains found at the site, but they left no writing. I saw what looked to my eyes as a few instances of different eras of construction. I highly recommend making it out there. The trip can be done over a long weekend flying out of your region of Texas. On to the point I want to drive home here, the mainstream standard model story we got from our guide was that at some point in Mesoamerican history, a civilization rose to such a height of knowledge and construction ability to encode solstice and equinox alignments in a giant freaking pyramid and then collapsed. Enough time then passed that another society discovered the site, completely abandoned, and incorporated it into their mythos and societal structure. If I understand correctly, this is what y'all and Ben hypothesized could have happened in ancient Egypt. I found it very interesting that this suggestion is mainstream enough for a tour guide in Mesoamerican archaeology, but heretical in Egyptology. In conclusion, have fun in Turkey, my dudes.
Oh. That was before turkey. Huh?
Yeah, these are old, bro.
We're way behind.
We're catching up. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for writing.
Yeah. And yeah, that is interesting. Of course, I would say that the reason, probably a big reason why this idea is heretical in Egyptology is because Egypt is already so old that if you use the same idea there, that some culture shows up, becomes so sophisticated that they build these giant monuments and then they completely collapse and disappear. And then a long enough time passes and then somebody else shows up and builds a civilization. But those people are in 3000 BC. That's too long ago for the previous culture. That's the problem that they have, I think, is pushing back civilization that far. And it always has been the problem.
I see what you're saying.
The argument is always show us the evidence of this ancient civilization. And of course the answer is, well, we might be looking at it. You guys have just mislabeled it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the show us the evidence is just that makes this, that requires you to make the assumption that their explanations of existing evidence is all correct, which is not how science works. So, I could rant about that for multiple shows and have. I can and have. So yeah, thanks, buddy, and thanks for the boots on the ground report there. Cool that you got to go visit Teotihuacan.
Yeah, I'd like to go there someday too.
Let's see. Okay, so this is I marked this one because this is from our buddy Brad, who sent you the box of wine that he made.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. So this is in response to him hearing about us talking about drinking the wine and not remembering who he was.
Oh, man. I'm so sorry.
Oh, this is the box of wine.
And I couldn't find the note either. I was like, who sent me this wine?
Yeah. So the title of the email is, I've got 3 passports, a couple of visas, and you don't even know my name. He says, I have a different email address I use for Patreon. I just decided to go ahead and up my pledge in lieu of doing a super chat. And I just wanted to let you know how much I have enjoyed the show. I'm almost up to date, but I have been watching the YouTube sods new. Autocarrot didn't like sods. Autocorrect. Autocarrot.
Autocarrot.
Ottercarrot didn't like sods. But anyway, I'm glad I did. I was a pretty good home brewer. I won a couple of local comps, but never quite had the same passion for wine. Well, I was just a drunk, but also an alcoholic, though I skipped the meetings. I quit drinking after my dad passed and have been on this little spiritual journey of my own. And so I am glad to be writing to you from a position of feeling blessed these days. I've listened to a few people who have come to question their faith, and so I'm glad to have found something in mine. Life is much better for me these days, and I'm glad that I was able to share the wine because of how much it meant for me and my dad.
That's cool, man. I really appreciate it.
I think I mentioned on my Patreon, but I found you guys from a different way than normal. I heard about Uncharted X from the author Steven Erikson of Malazan's Book of the Fallen. I don't know how it would be on audio, but this is the best fantasy series ever written. And I found Brothers of the Serpent from your appearance in Ben's videos, and then when you started Cosmographia with Randall. I started from episode 2 not long after getting into one of the book reports, Forbidden Archaeology. I've really enjoyed how much I've learned from my binging of your show, and I'm looking forward to much more brain expansion. I did the math, but it started getting into the place transforms, and I shed skin and bailed.
Shed skin bailed.
Yeah, that's a math joke right there. Peace and love, snakes, from Brad.
Well, thanks so much, Brad.
Yeah.
Laura and I definitely enjoyed that wine. We drank it for a while. We had it for quite a while.
You did say that you were skeptical at first? Did you?
Oh yeah, I was just like, great.
Yeah.
You made box wine, or you made wine from concentrate and mailed it to me.
That's
I
good,
was
'cause I was
highly
standing there.
skeptical, and I'm
I
thinking,
was
like-
standing there when he was doing it, and I was wondering if he was going to talk about it on the podcast.
I was like, thanks, bro. Really appreciate
But it
it.
was good.
And then I was actually scared that I was going to open it up and be like, oh, woo.
But
And
it
then
was
not,
good.
basically just kind of ghost you.
I
But
guess,
we drank, and I was like, man, this is good. So we drank, we drank them all.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm really happy for you that turned around, because I was standing there for the initial reaction, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, it's
And it turned around. So yes, heck yes.
Yeah,
Good
my
wine.
mom-
Thank you.
Snake Mom also makes wine from concentrate, and it is also really good. So I know it can be good, but I was just, you just never know. Somebody sends you, it's like, I made this myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. But it was good. So thank you very much for that. And Laura and I enjoyed it.
We did. Thank you.
All right. So we actually have an email here from David March, the crazed animator and fiddler.
Oh, good,
Oh.
good, good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some, but go.
She wants to see
There is a drawing in this email at the end. I can show it to you. So he sent this Thursday, the 23rd of March, 2023. Dear Kyle and Russ and Laura, last Thanksgiving, things had gotten fairly clouded up trying to sell the old homestead while dancing through radiation therapy. While that was unfolding, some conversations with my sister's kids led to my moving in with my excellent 86-year-old sister who babysat my brother and me so long ago. Upshot of all of that is there were several months that I missed your podcasts. Some, like your episode 281, require that I make several passes to absorb the avalanche of ideas that you two toss at each other. It says there is an ancient city found at a depth of 120 feet or 36 meters on the sea floor of the Gulf of Cambay off the Gujarat west coast of India is being designated as Dwarka. Articles indicate that scientists are for now identifying this as possibly, might be the ancient holy city of northwest India founded by Lord Krishna. And he puts, by the way, scientists in quotations. The scientists are saying this. Many scholars evidently had assumed that it was merely legend. They reckoned the story of its sinking beneath the ocean waves was invented to explain why no trace of it had been found to verify the sacred texts. Most of the articles announcing the discovery acknowledge the unexpected antiquity. Quote, will require rewriting history, blah, 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 blather, unquote. But they consistently focus on the initial dredged up items, radiocarbon dated to 9,500 BC. That dating is assigned to detritus recovered from dives and possibly from dredging, meaning materials from the uppermost layers of a city measured with sonar as 5, for Pete's sake, miles in length by 2 miles in width. It's infuriatingly consistent that all the mainstream articles trumpet that date and utterly ignore the point that those items have to be the most recent artifacts of a city that must in fact be far more ancient. It's one more sad example of the desperation of the community of scholars to maintain their stranglehold on the ownership of the narrative of human history. After all, the academics each earned their precious and hideously expensive credentials by reaffirming and building up the standard model narrative that each lone PhD candidate is obliged to embrace. The entire construct of human history, shaped by the community of mutually anointed scholars, is one vast pinky-sworn edifice of assumptions, assertions, and speculations that have been accepted as unchallengeable fact. It's unlikely my writing such disrespectful attacks on the community of scholars will either win their affections or make them change their sinful ways. And he posts a link to an article. He says, here's an article written by someone, a guy who seems to be a freelance writer, not a scientist, compiling information from a variety of sources instead of just the BS feed from some approved mainstream scientists. I know you get this from a lot of folks, and here's another dose. Your conversations are a bright spot in the week. You've put a bunch of new stretch marks on my brain. I've bought several of the books. I've bought several of the books you've covered and read them separately from the broadcast. For a couple of years, I've been relaying some of your themes to my 86-year-old sister, and she is fascinated. Many thanks. From David March, crazed animator and fiddler.
That's cool, man.
I love
appreciate
that.
it.
Thank you.
There you go. That's one of his sketches there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, buddy. I always enjoy your emails. I can't always read them on the show because sometimes I read through it. I'm like, this is great, but you ramble sometimes, and I'm just like, nope, can't do this one. But this one was very cool and concise, so thank you. But yeah, you ramble a bit, bro. Sometimes within your sentences, you ramble, so it's okay.
Roasted.
Roasted him live.
Hey, welcome. Welcome.
Says the
Here
Rambler.
you are.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are now.
Yep. But when I write, it's very concise and to the point.
So yeah, I definitely feel the same way about archaeology. Like it's there's obviously this narrative that's being held together, But at the same time, there are other aspects of it that are not that way. Like there's a lot of groundbreaking stuff. There's stuff that has challenged the narrative. And it's weird. Like I'm doing this deep dive into Göbekli Tepe, how Klaus Schmidt was like, his findings were completely challenging the narrative, but then it was kind of like tucked into the narrative in this way.
Yeah.
So that is, I don't know if that was his intention. Like, okay, let me not stir the pot too much.
Yeah, let's not rock the boat.
Yeah.
How can we slide this incredibly ancient date in to be accepted without pissing
Right.
off too many people? Yeah.
But when I and that's kind of what I thought, right? Like based on Graham Hancock's, in Magicians of the Gods, like he was kind of asking him that thing. So you're just gonna say these are hunter gatherers, and he seemed to be convinced. When you look at the data of what they were finding, there is this really strange conundrum with the midden material that you
Yeah.
can't get past.
Yeah.
It's like, so yeah, I can understand how they basically stuck with this idea, but I don't think it's correct. But I'm not sure if it was a plan. In other words, I don't think it was a conscious effort to try to stick with the norm. So I don't know. I'm on both sides of the fence on this one. Like I think it does happen, and I also think people do real science and honest science. It's not all black and white, basically.
no, of course not. Yeah. It's not black and white. And, you can ask many questions. Is it a product of how this stuff is taught?
Yeah, it
you
could
know.
be that.
Like here's the because a lot of times it really is about here's what we already know, and all of this is pretty solid.
Yeah.
So anything that bucks that must be wrong.
Right.
Not that it maybe means that we need to rethink some of the stuff that we thought was solid. No, the new evidence must be wrong, right?
Yeah.
Or we just need to like find a way to take this new evidence that we're like, okay, we're pretty
fit
sure
it.
this evidence isn't wrong. So how can we like fold it into the standard model without, changing anything that we already know is right?
Yeah, or the mindset is how does it fit into the story that we already know is correct?
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
See
what
what
I
I'm
mean.
saying?
Yeah.
So-
And so they find ways to fold it on there, fold it into it. Yeah.
Fold it in.
Like Ben says in his presentation.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's it. Yeah. Like Ben says in his presentation about the tale of two industries, he says that they just shifted the definition of hunter-gatherer a bit.
Yeah.
And changed a little bit of the definition of what civilization means.
Right.
Right. And then you can say, well, these were hunter-gatherers, basically the hunter-gatherer men just basically throwing big parties and stacking up stones to get away from their wives.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Idiots. You can't get away from us.
My favorite idea about the hunter-gatherers. Well, they had so much time on their hands
yeah, I know.
that they decided to build a tepe.
Yeah.
So yeah, for hundreds of thousands of years, we just had all kinds of time on our
Yeah.
hands, and we just
Right.
built megalithic sites all over.
It
the
wasn't
place.
until we started up an agricultural civilization where we all had to work from dusk till dawn that we started inventing stuff because we ran out of time to do things, right?
Yeah.
That's what
That's
makes
it.
total sense.
Yeah,
When we
that's
had all this time, we were just like, I don't need to invent anything. Stone tools, good to go,
Yeah.
right? I'm not
No,
going to sit
let's
around
just-
and figure stuff out.
Let's create a new rain dance in our butt flaps.
Hey,
Spend freaking 18 hours choreographing this rain dance. It's
Right.
going to work this time.
speaking of Göbekli Tepe, I'm reading Immortality Key,
Yeah.
and he's saying that the big stone bowls, the huge bowls that I kept
Oh.
pointing out.
Beer bowls?
Yes. But you forgot though until I just reminded you. I think. But
No, I
was
guessed.
standing there
I
with you.
completely
Oh, that was a
forgot.
guess.
Yeah.
But you've read it, or you?
I just
listened to
completely
it?
forgot.
Yes.
I listened to it.
yeah, yeah. Dude, 42 gallons of beer.
Awesome.
That's what he says. I just thought that was.
That's how big those bowls are.
42 gallons of beer in the bowl.
Yeah,
42
yeah,
gallons
that's
of beer.
exactly what I thought.
Cut a T-pillar, stand it up in the tepe. 41 gallons of beer on the wall.
41 gallons of beer in the bowl.
A bowl.
What
Yeah.
I was thinking. Yes. I just read that part today and I'm like,
Genius.
oh my gosh. The bowls, I was like, what are these bowls for? Anybody look at the bowls? And this guy's like, beer. Like,
Oh, they're not singing bowls?
Nope.
You think all those singing bowls were actually for
42
making
gallons
beer?
of beer.
Yeah, it's weird. Some of the bowls are like in the walls.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're bricked into the walls.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a beer.
That's
fridge.
just, it's just a guy. He's building his house. He's like, well, I want my beer in the walls.
in the wall.
dude.
That's right. You know, it's just you can wake up and
Or maybe it's just where they were fermenting the grains.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt they were fermenting those grains.
The crazy beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to try some of that.
All beer now is light beer compared to the crazy beer. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
The old Tepe Stout. Yeah, it would be good. All right, what's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Who's next on the docket to get trashed?
what time do we have, by the way?
we're
we're
at
at break time.
Oh.
See, I call it every
He knows.
time, folks.
He's
Internal clock.
Getting professional
here.
over here.
That's good. That's a good trait.
I'll remember that next time you're late to band practice.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me do my situation.
Let's
here.
screw something up real quick
Yeah.
before we go.
First, I have to push this
That
button,
That button works still. Yeah.
and then I have to push this button.
We were cruising in my car in the summertime, and you were never far in the summertime. You know we take it easy in the summertime. You know you're gonna see me in the summertime, and you would fly to me like a dream. I was falling deep in between, and it's all I need to believe, and I try to keep the memory in the summertime. Cruising in my car in the summertime, and I know where you are in the summertime. You know you're gonna see me in the summertime. You know it's
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, brothers of the Servant podcast. Yeah, we take a little longer breaks here in these live streams because that's how long the breaks usually are for the actual show when we're recording not live. You know, it gives us some time to chat, to figure out what we're doing, for Laura to leave and go handle child problems. So, you know, during the normal non-live podcast, the breaks are 30 seconds, but or a minute, you know. But this time we got good music. We can play the whole thing. So gives us a chance to
it gives us a chance.
get beers.
Yeah, we don't
leave.
have our act together.
Yeah.
We need all the chances we can get.
I was really trying to get this bumper music to be stereo because it's mono right now. It's just not the same.
Yeah. So,
But that's why I was really grumpy.
yeah,
Anyways.
he wanted the bumper music to come through stereo, and it's just not happening yet. And yes, to all the people
And-
asking, this is Kyle's music.
The last two songs are unpublished.
Brand new.
Sneak
Well,
peeks.
Well, they're published
Sort
now.
of brand new.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That last one is an old one that you've like resurrected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
But they will be, they'll continue to develop. So they're just
Yeah.
in a draft stage right now.
So don't get married.
My mom found a complete primitive axe in our yard in Georgia.
Wow.
You should point at it. Make sure we know which one you're talking about.
You see that one
right
right there? It's like right there above those 3 hearts.
That's great.
Yeah, that's good.
David
read that
Carrier.
red one.
Thank you. Thank you. 55 Canadian. Beer money for, did you already read this?
Nope.
Beer money
Just
for
happened.
Snake Brothers and Snake Girl. LOL. And for quality programming. Enjoying the show. Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
quality
See,
program.
Quality programming.
Totally
ladies and gentlemen.
profesh.
Yeah, this is very professional over here.
The word on the streets is we're going profesh.
That is the word on the
Yeah,
street.
yeah. That's it. That's what's going on. Yeah.
Some of you don't want profesh. So go back and listen to episode 2.
Yeah, there you go. All right, this one is from Matt, one of the Matts we have. It's called Daily Dose of Skirp.
All right. My man.
Bros, I have wanted to email you since I found the podcast. I watched Randall on Rogan a year ago, and it fucked my whole world up. I've been digging into all this stuff, and I found your podcast a few months ago, and I have become obsessed. I'm working through the catalog from episode 1, episode 2. Thanks for all you do. The knowledge, the vibe, the guests, the book reports, the music, the laughs, and the coughs. It's all perfect. I was never much of a podcast guy, but you just click for me.
Profesh.
Your podcast is a crucial part of my life now. Thank you. So here's a nice skirp-derpery essay if you're bored, and he gives a link to a SciTech Daily article. Scientists debunk controversial theory of Stonehenge as a solar calendar is the title.
A
And
link
he-
for if we're bored, huh?
He says, this is typical. I don't care if Stonehenge was a calendar or not, but the headline is just meant to convey a talking point for materialist shitheads to shoot down anything spooky. It's a boilerplate, bad faith shutdown. It can't be a calendar because, 1, of impossible standards we've set up, 2, because a fallacy you could run on almost anything, and 3, because our theory says evidence like this can't exist, so it doesn't. Lazy. See, there's a theme here in these emails. You see the theme?
I do.
Everyone's mad.
They're mad at archaeology.
Yes. And they see through the bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he continues, you guys are badass. I can't express this enough. 5 stars. My only complaint is that you seriously fucked up by not
Lay it on me.
calling the banana episode Impossible Bananas. Impossible Bananas are even more impressive than Impossible
right.
Blocks in that only some blocks are Impossible Blocks while all bananas are Impossible Bananas. I'm
Impossible-nanners. I'm going to have to correct
Impossible-nanners. Yeah.
you. Impossible-nanners.
Impossible-nanners. He says, I'm on the Serpent in the Sky book report episode right now. So badass. And I hope that in a future episode you rectify this mistake and remind us of the mystery of the bananas that exist, but whose existence is impossible. From Matt. I really like that, you know, this is just continues the conversation of like, yeah, so not only so people like Klaus Schmidt, who you say is working in good faith, doing good science, right? You're pretty sure he was working in good faith, right?
I mean, that's my that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
I would say so as well.
And I think, but even working in good faith, there are forces that may drive one in certain directions.
Yeah.
And we all have those. You know what I mean? So I don't think that he was intentionally covering up or not looking at data. It's a very confusing site. So I think he was doing his best.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I think he's wrong.
Yeah. And he was working on initial observations, right? Many more things have been done since then.
Yeah, but
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to sound like, okay. So my
But
experience
wait,
was
wait. You don't want to sound like it, but is it something you actually are?
probably
Okay, then you need to sound like it.
no, it's a joke. I don't think that I know what the deal is there, but
Oh, right,
but the
yeah.
construction method, I mean, immediately made no sense. I was just looking at before I ever started digging through the papers, before I started reading all that stuff. I just walk up and look at the site, walk around, look at it, and I'm just like, no, this is multiple stages.
I
of
agree.
building.
Yeah. I mean,
So
initial
it
observation.
boggles the
yeah.
mind why a builder or some maybe, I mean, was there no one on the entire team that ever looked at this construction and just said this makes no sense in a construction, just straight from a construction standpoint?
Man, that's
It's-
a great
it's-
question. The only way we could find
The
that out
rock
is
walls are weaker because of the megaliths.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
megaliths don't need the rock walls. It's just
Yeah.
they're it's so that's what I'm saying. It's like that is the part that really gets me. It's like how did no one notice this?
maybe they're just not looking at that stuff. They're using toothbrushes and sifting through midden materials, looking for dateable stuff and then
Well,
getting
we're-
artifacts.
Or maybe the guy that did say something got fired.
she goes straight for
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Yeah. She's like, anyone who said that just got kicked out. That's probably, I mean, that could be
Well,
true.
I really am looking forward to
Or maybe-
a future interview we're going to have, and I'd like to ask some of these questions
Yeah.
to a qualified individual. And so yeah, we're
Kyle
working on
got
it.
a guess.
Okay, well, Troy in the chat here is I'm going to point right there. See,
All
it's right there. He's making some good points. He says they're all nerds. Now, hold on. And none of them ever built anything. Wait, well, we're nerds. We've built stuff. Are these two connected? But anyway, the point is, he's saying that the
Did you just get
construction.
attacked by a bug?
It just hit me right in the face. It's like there's like a gnat in here or something.
Oh.
See, look. Sorry, go ahead. I would not have done that otherwise. But it just like hit me in the face.
Or is it pointing your finger everywhere? Whoa, it went in front of the camera. All right, I'll get the assault
we're gonna
rifle.
have to handle that.
No, go ahead. Oh well,
You
finish
want
your point.
want the assault?
Yeah, I'm gonna
rifle?
get the assault rifle. I'll bring it in here.
Okay.
But finish your point.
Yeah, so the point that Troy's making is that these people have never built anything, so they don't know to look at construction stuff.
Yes, I don't know.
They're academics.
I don't know, man. Maybe they
Would an academic notice, like somebody
maybe they
who's,
have to build
who's
things.
spent his life in the halls of academe?
They
would he
hire
notice.
They hire people to build things. Like none of the builders that were there were just like, dude, like the architects that came there that to build that giant cover
Oh,
never
yeah, I'm sure they-
said anything to them.
I'm
like
sure
this
the
makes no
architects had
sense.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway, I know an architect.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell him.
We know a
You need
couple
to
of
look at this.
we know a couple of architects. Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, yeah, maybe those guys do say something, or maybe they don't because they know because they're enough in academia to know what.
Yeah, this is where I'm like split because on the one hand, like the archaeologists that I have met are great and they're critical thinkers, they're logical thinkers. But then you see this when you just it's like Brenner was pointing this out to me that like we often say like they You know, a lot of people will say, well, they all don't want you to know the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
Who is the they?
Who is they?
And you can't say the archaeological community because they're
all
all
different
just
people.
individuals.
Yeah.
They're all different. So I have, I guess the longer I've been really looking into this stuff deeply, the less I want to blanket, you know, the entire science in some, you know, with this idea of that, like,
No, I think
So,
I think
yeah.
the most probable answer is that they respond to institutional pressure.
yeah, and peer review. I mean, how many
Yeah.
papers have been written that just didn't make it?
Yeah.
The pressure that needs to be put on, they need to adopt the trend of like the airports. Like if you see something, say something. You know, that's what it needs. That's the trend. That
Peer
needs to be-
review is broken, and that is
It is.
that's what that's supposed to
Yeah.
to be. Like they've actually become gatekeepers. You know,
Yeah.
They don't let things through that. I mean, this is what I've heard from scientists who have, you know, who have papers published.
Yeah.
This is the type of hurdles they have to, and so then they'll go to a journal that doesn't have such a ridiculous, you know, establishment peer review system, and then that journal is ridiculed
Yeah.
by the establishment as like, "Ah, you know, they're no good." So
But
I don't know.
Okay, but you're saying, okay, you've met some archaeologists, you know, and but where did you meet these archaeologists? How did you meet them?
I met them on tours that we went on,
Right. So they are self-selected already.
but not just that. Also, the interactions I've had with the guys involved in the Cosmic Summit, which of course are people that George specifically reached out to, but one of them is like president of the American Archaeological Society or some very
Yeah.
prestigious institution
And
like
these
that.
guys are self-selected in a sense because they're
And
already
he-
part of a system that's bucking the model.
And this, yeah, I'm just saying these guys that I've had interactions with and have looked at their work, I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
dudes are great. And one of them is like the tip top.
Yeah. Yep.
So
And that's the other thing. Sometimes when you reach the tip top and you're a certain kind of person, then you can buck the system because you're at the very top. You know?
yeah,
Like there was a guy that was involved with the I don't remember his name, but he was involved with the Comet Research Group, and he was like top of his field, and he just didn't care. You know, like no one could
That's the other
challenge
thing.
his position.
a lot of these scientists in the Comet Research Group are those guys.
Yeah,
like they just don't care.
right.
They're doing the science.
That's what I'm saying. So
that-
they're also self-selected.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's complicated, and nowadays, I'm sure I trashed archaeologists in like, you know, the first 100 shows easy. Nowadays, I'm more careful because I realize that it's not the institution or the study or the science or whatever. It's just individuals. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of work that I respect.
Yep.
And so I can't, you know, I don't feel comfortable just saying, yeah, it's just these guys,
Yeah,
and
you-
they and all that.
Broad brush painting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I agree with that. But I also would
But
say
I was definitely guilty of that for a while.
Yeah, but I would also say that there are plenty that do good work, but there are some that are just that don't.
Yeah, there's terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible ones. So, and when you end up with these, you know, these like what this person was talking about in the email. What's his name? Matthew was talking about in the email. Is like, okay, here you go. This is classic skirp derpery. You know. Where they're basically using these arguments that are kind of programmed in. You know, but he lays it out here. It can't be this because of impossible standards that we've set up just to make this argument, right? Or because of a fallacy that we've made to make this argument, or because our theory says evidence like this doesn't exist. So
Yes.
it can't.
See, a lot of this is just these are the loudest guys. These are the science
Yeah.
communicators
Yeah.
doing this type of stuff. These are the quote unquote skeptics that are making that type of
Yeah.
profile or whatever. You know, that's what they do.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on here. This is called Coffee Dream from Donna. Good morning, Russ. Glad to know I'm not the only one who finds the sound of the human voice absolutely revolting first thing in the morning. I'm recovering from surgery and I don't sleep well, so I listen to podcasts to help pass the time. And I fell asleep, yay, while listening to you snakes, and you were in my dream. In it, I was trying to make you coffee for you and Kyle early in the morning. I couldn't find a functional electrical outlet for the coffee bean grinder anywhere. There must have been 20 outlets in that room, but none of them worked. Tempers were flaring, anxiety was rising, I was getting frightened, and so I woke up before you got your coffee. Thank you so much for keeping my mind active and my funny bone strong. Much love and heaps of gratitude to you both, from Donna. And P.S. Next time some cheerful buffoon gets in your face, show your teeth and growl. This works for me. See? I love hearing from other
There you
grumpy
go.
morning people.
There you
go. You understand.
Yeah.
Someone comes
She
up and is like, good morning, bro. And you're just like,
obviously wrote that in the evening. So a bit lighthearted.
all right. What we got next here? This is from Butt Flapperheimer von Schlond.
Hey.
So it's called Butt Flapperheimer deleted half of this email. Dear Serpentarage, I hope this email doesn't catch up with you waking up with a hangover in the weeds on the side of Potbelly Hill with no coffee. I wish you a great adventure. Now, you guys went and got me ruminating again, and this can lead to rambling emails. I know it's just your nature to do it, so there's pretty much nothing we can do about it other than to delete this now. In regards to my comments on the paranormal, I have nothing against spirituality. It's just that there are no answers there without faith. I lived through the New Age woo of the 60s and 70s, and it seemed to me at the time to be less about spirituality than about marketing. I'm just not sure who was marketing it then, but I suspect that the same interests are marketing it now. Yeah, I like that. This space, by the way, is intentionally left blank. There was a huge, boring chunk of this email that was deleted because I was running out of paper and because it was huge and boring. Your podcast has great music, conversation, beer, and laughs. It's like a party. Snakes! And sincerely from Butt Flapperheimer von Schlond. By the way, this is not my real name, and therefore we are not related other than a kinship that I feel towards you people that you don't even know me.
Snakes. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. I understand. I totally get that. I have that same type of kinship with
Yeah.
podcasts that I listen to.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah,
That's really cool. I appreciate that.
yeah, the stuff on the paranormal, like some of it is marketing. You got to admit, you know.
Gotta keep the aliens alive.
What's going on with UFOs right now?
Yeah, what is
Are
going
you
on
asking
with-
me?
Yeah.
I've been talking to Marty. We've been
Oh,
having
so you probably haven't learned anything.
many secret conversations.
kidding,
So
Marty.
yeah, Marty just keeps telling me, well,
Classic.
we'll get to that. Actually, there was a really good show with James Fox on Rogan recently. We need to watch that new documentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been thinking I'd come down here maybe on
Yeah.
when we all have some free time.
Of course, yeah.
And we
During
can-
the free time.
Yeah, during our
Yeah.
massive amounts of free time, and we can watch this documentary together.
But isn't NASA doing some thing with they're doing like something tomorrow?
No idea.
Okay.
Like, I haven't been paying attention to anything.
Marty, tell me what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, tell us, please.
Hey, thanks, Viking. See you later.
NASA's doing something tomorrow. It's like supposed to be I don't remember, some kind of document dump, maybe, or something like that. About because they've been looking
okay.
into it, or maybe they're having they're being questioned about it, or some type of interview. Something's happening soon, but we'll get to that later.
I'm pretty sure that has been the state of ufology for the past 40 years.
It's true.
Something is happening soon is pretty much the state.
Oh, it was today.
Thanks, Marty.
It already happened. Obviously, it wasn't that big of a deal, I guess. It was a flop. Thank you, Marty.
Okay, this is from Trevor. It's called Changing for the Better, ? Salutations from Peace River, Alberta. Trevor here. Just finished listening to Sode 262. I'm only 20 back now and may be behind for a while now as I have been on a synchronistic podcasting journey as I now regularly listen to Grimerica thanks to you guys, and No Agenda thanks to Grimerica. I'm sure you all listen to that too. I'm guessing that's where you got the bell idea. I like to hear all the jokes on the listener emails. It's an honor to have one's ideas trashed by the bros. See? It's an honor.
It should be.
That's sweet, Snake Force. I love you guys.
So yes, it's an honor to have one's ideas trashed by the bros. I always enjoy those episodes. Now that Kyle has taken over the email reading,
Damn right.
I'm sure
I'm in
there'll be.
charge.
Now that Kyle has taken over the email reading, I'm sure they will be even better. But all jokes aside, ooh, he just trashed you, bro. All jokes aside, I hope the
he
new
was serious
style
about
brings more listeners, although I completely understand how it can upset people, really change the flow of the show. But the workout guy will be happy, and Grandma too. One emailer mentioned Jeffrey P. Farrell. This was synchronicity for me, as I just listened to him on Grimerica. They have him on twice. Immediately, I went to listen to the second one after hearing the first. I'm sure Marty must be aware of his work. Also, just listened to one with Lynn Caston, another guy hopefully Marty knows of. Those make me want to go back and listen to the Marty episodes again. So much info to take in. Anyways, keep up the good work. Never stop. I will sign off now. Until next time, peace and love from Trevor. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully, Marty, you know about all this stuff this guy was talking about.
See, look, Murray, I'm pointing now.
Yeah.
He just blessed my heart. He's a good guy.
He is. He is a great guy.
He loves me.
Yeah, he does. He just hates Jeff. He's
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
Jeff is the only one that he really
Somebody
hates.
named Jonathan earlier actually said that your hair is like more luscious or something than mine.
Yeah.
All right,
It's hydraulic oil. Works great.
what time we got, by the way?
We need to go like 10 minutes over.
It's assault rifle
So,
time.
I mean, you're pretty spot on, except we need to go like 10 minutes over
Oh, really?
because of the break. Two
Okay.
breaks.
Yeah.
So next email.
Okay.
Okay.
If you want to do it that way, it's just
Yeah. I mean, it's a 2-hour show. They get music. What's the problem?
But he already started reading it.
keep going.
All right. I'll do one more and then we'll take a break. This is from Lauren.
Hey, girl.
I don't know if it's a female Lauren. Okay. So a scientific inquiry.
Sorry.
Greetings, esteemed researchers of the Institute of Advanced Copperlight Research. I was hoping to lean on your expertise in a question of the highest importance. According to the Standard Model theorists, SMTs, approximately 120 billion people have lived on Earth. Given the average lifespan is skewed from infant and childhood mortality rates, let's assume that that number is people who have lived full lives. The average amount of poop a person produces daily is 1 pound. If all of these poops were formed into a 6 by 6 by 12 bricks and formed into a wall 3 feet high and 1 layer wide, how long would this copperlight wall be? If Michael Cremo is right and humans are like the humans are like hundreds of millions of years old, how big would that wall be? Thanks in advance. I trust your advanced long-head contacts will have no trouble producing preliminary speculative data. I love the show. I'm about to episode 100. I listen to you guys as I work every day. I'm a painter, and our new safety manager banned headphones in the booth because they could, quote, spark an explosive event, unquote. So I did the only reasonable thing to do. I freaked out, quit my job, and burned the building down. Just kidding. I didn't, but I just suffer through the 2 weeks I'm on painting duty and wait for my prep week like a wee lad awaits Christmas.
Oh.
Do you guys... let's see. Do you guys have a subscription to Current World Archaeology or Archaeology magazines? The most recent issue had a great story about 2 Greek cities, Abderos and Teos. One was a colony of sorts to the other, and a Roman general showed up, raided the food and valuables, and Hulk smashed everything else. The parent city then funded their rebuilding with massive gifts of silver and no interest loans for crops and oxen. The colony then erected a statue and stele in their temple square, paying homage for their kindness. It was so great a story, I had to get on eBay and buy a coin from that period. They have a beautiful griffin stamped on the rear. I'd be happy to forward my magazines to you once I've read them, if you aren't already getting them. I need your address anyway, though, because I have found the ultimate gift for the Tangent Cube. I hope Turkey was fantastic. Can't wait to hear all about it. Cheers from Iowa, from Lauren.
Thank you.
Went and bought a coin.
Well, I don't want those magazines.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
Thank you. Yes.
But if you're in the Discord, you can get the address.
Yeah, the
true.
only way to get the PO box for the podcast is through the Discord.
You must pass the test.
I mean, yes, some people have emailed me and asked, and they're like, and I'm like, it's in the Discord, and they're like, I'm too old, or I don't understand, or what the hell is Discord? And so I just
Plead
and to
dumb.
those we say,
Plead the dumb.
you're cut off. No, we let him.
yeah,
Greg Brown.
Greg,
No, Greg.
yeah,
That would
Says,
be
"Fuck
awesome
you
to
doing,
get
mate?"
Marty back on. Thanks on with Snake Wife Trio, Laura, Kyle, Russ. So I would like to do this, but I want to know, do I have to listen to everything?
yes.
So
What? What do you mean?
You have to listen to them all
it may be.
to get to join the Marty episodes.
Oh, I see.
So-
You need to be caught up and totally up to
So
date
if that is
on
the
how
thing-
confused the rest of us are
Yeah.
on what Marty's trying
Okay.
to do.
So if that's the case, it's going to be a little longer, but
We were just talking about Marty today too. I was like, when's he coming back on? What's his deal?
Yeah,
So we don't know, Marty.
I've been talking to him.
Marty's he must be doing something sneaky.
All right, let's take a break.
All right. First, I have to push this button. That's not my playlist. There it is. I don't know what this song is.
sounds like 80s.
Oh, it's Funk Hill, all right.
Sorry.
She waits till the mic's on. She's like, can you turn it
And we're
down
back,
a little?"
ladies and gentlemen. Turning the mics up. What is this? Is
Funk Nasty. Did you
This is-
see that?
that's basically yes. Me and old freaking Dozer Dan just hanging out in the shed till 4 a.m. freaking recording some funky hill music. That's what that is. Welcome back.
Is this the last segment?
I think
This is the last segment.
this is the last segment
Okay.
of this show.
Yep. And we missed a super chat from Jeff.
Yes, we did.
What did he say?
We're
should
gonna
see
come
the
back and get you,
Y-Files.
old boy. Right here.
Watch the Y-Files episode that pairs with the something event as well. Thanks for the best show in the Elastic Universe. Love you guys.
It's the Virginia event.
I think he might be talking about the event in Brazil that is the subject of this documentary I was mentioning.
The Elastic Universe.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you do, bro. And then we have this one.
Ed Fu, text you later.
How's it going, bro?
We're continuing this very expensive conversation.
Random thought. Could jet pillars help amplify or tune frequency or magnetism? Tuning them to frequency of impossiblocks could aid movement if the jet pillars were rowed up like a laneway.
Like in a row.
Rowed
in a
up like a
lane.
laneway.
Yeah. I'm probably crazy.
I'm
he said.
probs crazy. Snarks.
I don't know. Those jet pillars look kind of weird. I mean, they do
They
look
are
like
interesting.
they look like electrical objects, but you know.
Yeah, especially in Dendera where there's like a cable coming off of it
Yeah.
and then goes to
Yeah.
a flower light bulb thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a bubble machine. It's just like that's what it is.
Could be a bubble.
They loved their bubble machines. Bubble machines also have that little,
Yeah.
it's usually in a ring though.
Right.
But it has the little ribs on it.
The other thing a jet pillar could be is for, dipping honey out of the jar. That's,
For sure.
That's probably
it could
what
be. Yeah. Maybe that's what they were saying about the flower light bulb thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the hands are just like, this is how I grab the honey.
Right.
Genius. Okay.
Oh, he said he digs the outro chatter. Like he can hear us talking when we don't know.
Well,
Before Kyle turns off the mics, yeah, you can hear us. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
and
gotta tell me. You need to signal.
So I asked, all right, you guys ready? Yes. Boom. Start turning up the mics. And then Laura's like, actually, could you
Okay. Sorry.
Classic. No, it's
Yeah.
good. Well, we need more Snake Wife sods, says Terry Jackson.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me in here, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for
It's
coming.
always fun.
I find out in the morning.
That's when we all find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
It's good.
complain.
Okay. That was not a complaint. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're happy you're here. Too.
Yes, we are.
All right. Next email that we are going to destroy.
All right. This one is from Paleo Lady on Discord.
I like that name.
Howdy, Snake. It's called Dinosaurs, Ancient Life, and Snakes. Oh my. Howdy, Snake Bros. I am a relatively new listener coming over from Cosmographia. I've joined the Discord, and I have to say I felt very welcome. Everyone is so friendly, and I don't feel shunned because I am a newbie. Anyway,
All right, guys. You people in the Discord, you're not doing your job.
that's right. Clearly, you guys aren't trolling the noobs enough. She said,
You know what to do.
Yeah. She says, anyway, get Murray back in there. He'll handle it. Anyway, she says, I decided to join the Discord after listening to episode 8. The subject of dreams was one of the focal points of this show. The use of phones was apparently unheard of in dreams. While I was listening to the podcast in my car going 70 miles per hour down the highway, talking back to the podcast saying, I've used a phone. I wrote a text in my dream. I'm sure I look like a crazy person, but I had to let you guys know somehow. I have since wrote the whole story on the Discord, which you may have already seen. So far, I am really enjoying the podcast, and it is a breath of fresh air. Currently, I am going back and forth between new and old episodes, but I must agree with the recent emailer who stated, you don't fall into the trap all these other alternative thinkers fall into. It's not always aliens, and not everything is woo. I feel like you guys think how most scientists should think. What's happening?
Why, thank you. That's very nice. Very kind.
I was just gonna say, but it is always aliens. So that part's wrong. But
Laura's-
anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
You just described Laura.
The more often we have Laura in here, the more often it will always be aliens. So,
Yeah, so you take what you can get out of that deal.
okay.
Noobs with a B. All right.
Says, I feel like you guys think how most scientists should think. You lay out all the options, look for evidence to see what the best plausible scenario is. Science will never be 100% accurate. And I think a lot of scientists nowadays need to realize that. A scientist should not be pompous and arrogant. Unfortunately, I personally feel a lot of them are, at least the ones that are in the public eye. So again, we're having this same theme.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I didn't do this on purpose.
No,
I think
you
there's a
did.
conspiracy
I
going on
definitely
here. I think
was- this was
you are the only
complete
peer
coincidence.
I think you're doing a great thing.
reviewer. You are the only peer reviewer.
Is it
This
possible?
is the gatekeeper.
Is it possible that my unconscious
There's a
bias
narrative.
wants to read these ones that are trashing archaeologists? Is that what's happening?
I think there's a narrative being set by the peer reviewer here.
It's totally possible. Okay. But I digress. Now to get into the topic of what the subject of this email is about. Wildlife and dinosaurs. So far, I've heard you guys read news articles on dinosaur finds and talk about critters here and there, but have you ever done a deep dive into animals and the prehistory of animals? Forgive me if you have already had a podcast on critters before. Besides snakes, what is your favorite animal? And do you think humans could ever converse with animals? I do think it is possible to a degree. I mean, we as humans talk to our pets. I forget my husky is a dog half the time. Anyway, I feel like that would be a neat subject to dive into. And as for the dinosaurs, I just like to draw them. I never became a paleontologist, but I did follow the path of wildlife management. I have to say, some cool experiences through the years. And here are some snake facts. Snakes have something. I don't know what that word is. Female snakes tend to be larger than the male snakes. Snakes will self-defecate, which is pooping in self-defense.
They do that.
I do that. Sometimes you got to poop in self-defense, bro. She's like, what happened in there? Hey, bro, that was self-defense. And snakes hear through vibrations. Anyway, enough of my ramblings. Slither on, Snake Bros. Paleo Lady from Discord.
Through mechanical vibrations, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really
Yeah,
cool.
they hear through vibes, bro. They can detect you through your vibes.
Don't raise your vibrations around snakes.
That's right.
It's not a good idea. My favorite animal is possibly humans.
Oh.
It could be.
So you wait, you're
I mean, I have two little ones. So they're, yeah, I would say they're probably my favorite.
wait, are you making the claim now that humans are animals? Is this
Yeah.
not a distinction we should make? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The human animal. That is a phrase.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
Well,
was just trying to be a
dad.
some kind of dad snarky character.
I was sitting here thinking, are we supposed to now like all go around and say what our favorite animal?
She wants to know what your favorite animal
Obviously, we know your favorite animal.
What is?
Cow days.
It's Russ's too, I think.
Oh yeah, I love cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't
So
know.
if you
I've
want the
never.
spelling of
I'm-
Coyote, we'll put it in
I'm
somewhere.
not the. I guess I'm not the kind of person that sits around and goes, "What is my favorite?" of this thing?"
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, I mean, if really when you cut it down to brass tacks here, I'm gonna do whatever I can to like help us all survive.
Yeah. Yeah. You're on the side of the human animal.
I am definitely
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
on our side.
I
cool.
completely agree. Yeah.
So that's where I was saying humans is basically my favorite animal.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And we are animals. I mean, it's animated.
yeah.
That's where the word comes from.
Yeah.
So we move around.
Yes. Okay. This one is from another Matt. Different.
One of our many mats.
Yes, one of the many,
Different
many,
Matt.
many Matts. It's called Snakes. And he says, Serpent Bros, love your podcast. Found you through Rogan to Carlson to Cosmographia to your great podcast. I started at Sode 2, Kyle, and I have just finished Sode 150.
I'm sorry.
They always blame it on you.
It is definitely my fault.
My enthusiasm for your show has caused my wife to question the sanity of her husband. I'm trying to make her a convert, but my certificate of stupidity is so pronounced that I have trouble conveying the 33% brain expanding information to her amygdala.
Just tell her to message me. Direct message me on Discord. I'll try to help where I can.
All this to say you have an extremely awesome ability to explain the most difficult of subjects in a digestible manner that my wife now wishes I possessed. This is a familiar situation,
Yes,
too.
yes.
Trying to explain the many mind-bending and lofty ideas you discuss to her, for me, is like trying to say, I slit a sheet I slit, upon the slitted sheet I sit, after a tooth extraction. Thus far, due to my inability to properly explain these concepts, I just get the look. Thanks for all you do to bring these important and relevant ideas to the forefront of our imaginations. Slither here and thither, my serpent siblings. Snakes!
I hope your wife is listening to this right now. That's great. He gets the look.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This sentence. All of this is to say you have an extremely awesome ability to explain the most difficult of subjects in a digestible manner that my wife now wishes I possessed.
Good stuff, man.
That's fantastic. See, you emailers are geniuses. It's great.
Yeah, these are wonderful.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
This is a Jeff. One of our Jeffses. This is, let's see. Is this the Jeff? No, he would have said if it was the Jeff. Okay. It's called A Sober Attempt at a Witty Non-Book.
Okay.
Fail.
It's
Well, maybe it's not a book, but it look what happens.
It's the Cliff Notes.
He gets to the end and he realizes it's getting really long.
It's
and
abridged.
And he makes the text way smaller so that it doesn't look as long.
All right, this guy's pretty smart.
Yeah. Trust me, it's not long, guys. Just keep making the font smaller so that it doesn't look long. Okay. Hello, Snake Bros. Feel free to dox me with any info in this email or read it on the Sods. I was
He
going
lives in California.
I was
321
This is
Carbuncle
my style
Road.
of guy. We can talk freely.
I was going to wait until I got home from the Mississippi River to get a little nectar of the gods in me before attempting this little note, but I can't wait any longer. The pressure is high with all the amazing wit in the emails sent in to you guys. I came to the Snake family through Randall on Rogan, and Randall caught me when he told his origin story with the Underfit River. I have been saying the same thing about where I live in Illinois my whole life. Randall has also mentioned Starved Rock before, which is near me, and you guys talked about the gold chain found in the coal that is also near him in this town that I still can't pronounce. Chillicothe? I don't know how to say it. Chillicothe? Plus, my 8th grade history teacher was obsessed with the mounds just outside of that place that are untouched to my knowledge. After going through all of the Cosmosodes, I thought I would move on to the Snake Show, and I have to admit, at first, just like the first time I watched Monty Python's Holy Grail, I didn't get it. I know, but earlier this year, I stumbled upon this Suspicious Observers channel and scared myself so bad that I almost packed my wife, dog, cat, and moved to the mountains of New Mexico. I took deep breaths and thought that if there's any truth to this or any more, I need to know. Russ and Kyle will surely have it covered. So I started at episode 2, after desperately looking for episode 1, and cherry-picked a few others from the list of sods. I work on the Mississippi River as a Captain River Rat, in the Discord, and I have lots of time to listen while I'm driving my ship. I started slow, then realized that I can definitely keep up at 2x speed and can't actually even listen at normal pace anymore because you guys sound like I have been mainlining Animal Tranks for a week. What? He listens at 2 times
He
speed.
means we talk like this at 1x speed.
I see. Yeah. He's probably right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am proud to say that I am an 11er on the path of the poles. And in
You're actually a 5.5er since you listen at 2.
yeah. You can't listen at 2x and claim to be in anything. So, and I'm also in chronological order, somewhere in the early 2020 with the Gods of Eden. You guys finally addressed Suspicious Observers in 2019.
You should read the rest of this at 2x. I'm just kidding. All right. I'm just roasting you, bro. It's fine. I totally understand. I've done the same.
Okay, you finally addressed suspicious observers in 2019 somewhere, but by then you had freaked me out even worse than they did originally. Side note, I don't recommend listening to the 411 sods on a moonless night heading south on the river. It sure felt like Sam Squanch was standing behind me multiple times. I keep getting sidetracked on tangents with the books you recommend, but after a listen or two, I am back on track with y'all. The Dewhurst Giant book got me really pissed at the powers that be, and like the secret Mithras that Matheson talks about infiltrating the Roman Empire, I say we need to get some top men in the damn Smithsonian. Kyle, after listening to you talk about your ant problem and the bees you work with, have you checked out Paul Stamets on Rogan? He talks about his mushroom ant deterrent and his mycelium concoction to save the bees. It's all open sourced, I guess. I bought his book, but apparently my 33% increase hasn't kicked in yet because all that science was way over these baby eyes. Also, I love the tunes, and thank you for uploading Boxed Up Memories. Yeah.
No problem.
I don't know if you can perform it live at 2 times speed, but it's even more badass that way.
You listen to the music at 2 times speed.
Come on. Quit that.
I wish I had an insightful query to send your way, but other than my underfoot river epiphany and realizing that, wait a minute, something ain't right with my Baptist upbringing, I am realizing, there you go, I'm realizing daily all the things I didn't know and have never felt more alive. Thank you to the stash and mom for laying the groundwork for who you have become. Thank you to Laura for keeping you in line and on point. Inky knows I would have glad years ago without Mrs. Captain. Thank you, Russ and Kyle, for all the many years of work so far, and I hope there are many, many more to go. I look forward to meeting you one of these days. Probably going to bring the wife down to taste some of the wines on one of my months off. I think that's all for now. Love to all the fam. Got to get back to work. Jeff, P.S. Snakes. Snakes.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm extremely disappointed that you didn't really get Monty Python and Search for Holy Grail.
I know. And he puts it in there in huge capital letters. He's like, I know, but. That's what he says.
Honestly, I agree. I'm with him.
On Monty Python?
Yeah, like,
you didn't get
I've
it?
seen it, but I was telling Kyle the other day, I'm like, I've seen it with you guys a while back, but I'm kind of like, okay, I'll give it another try so I can.
Well,
see if
I know.
can-
I've watched movies with Laura, and like something will happen in the movie. Kyle and I both laugh our asses off, and she's like, "What? What are you guys laughing at?"
Not always. I'm not an idiot. Trust me.
So maybe we just have no. It's not that. We just have a totally different sense of humor.
Yeah. Or maybe
just-
we were focusing on
Because
something
even
different.
when we explain it to you, and you're like, "It's not funny."
I do tell Kyle that. I think we have a different sense of humor. Hey, frightening me. Thank you for what you're saying.
What did they say?
They said one of them went up there. I think there was 2, but this one right here says the gods of Eden got me hooked on Snake Wife.
Snake on the snake life.
Oh, on the Snake Life.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you need your glasses, babe. You need your glasses.
No, they're right there. It's
well, Snake Wife
a
was
great
the first
series
one.
with Snake
Oh,
Wife.
okay.
But
yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So because I read it.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
So okay.
Well,
But yeah, thanks.
yeah.
That was that was a heavy 6 episodes. We had Brendan slipped in there, and we were just talking about all sorts of crazy.
Oh yeah, didn't I get like sick or something? And I
Yeah, you
couldn't-
got sick, and
yeah.
I took over. It was an amazing show.
And it was just heavy stuff, but it was cool. I loved it. So thank you.
Just give you all a little taste of what it'll be like when next time Russ gets sick.
I kind of remember.
It's gonna be
that.
amazing.
It was a super professional show. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
pyramids are cool. All right, going on, moving on. Let's see what we got here. All right, we got time for one more, maybe
right.
2.
Let me see what's going on here. Okay. This one's called, this one is from Rich. Says, paranormal ? Great podcast. Bros, I wanted to let you know of a strange paranormal incident regarding your excellent podcast. I had to make a big personal decision recently that involves lots of money and committing to a lot of work. Nothing bad, but have been working a lot on it while also stressing over what to do. At one point, I asked for a sign, which I never do. And a few days later, just after making the final call to move forward, and starting to work on this massive project, and of course, listening to podcasts, I hear the episode where you read my previous email. Very cool. I am not sure that this is a sign, but it did make me stop and smile for a few minutes and interrupted me stressing out for a little while. So that was very appreciated.
That's cool.
I have attached a scanned excerpt of Secrets of the Great Pyramid by Peter Tompkins that I mentioned in my last email. I don't think it's digital aside from this, but maybe it will inspire you, bros, to commit some of your valuable shelf space to a physical book for a little while. And wow, I didn't know how valuable that space was, bros, until you both derisively commented on my mentioning a physical book. Sheesh. Can I rent a slot in your shelf?
How dare you mention a physical book?
I don't want any physical books.
Whoa.
Anyway, he says, I'm just playing. Enjoy the excerpt. In Serpitude from Rich. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Yeah, that's cool. You hear the email, you're stressing out, makes you stop and smile. That's good. Too bad we don't want any physical books.
I'm okay with them.
Yeah, Laura likes them. I know some people like them, but, I have a full library and no space. And I already have books in front of books on my bookshelves, and it's like I don't want any more.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to rub it in. We're all trying to be like you, bro.
No, and
We're
I'm
trying to all get as many books as you have.
no,
Okay.
I'm just trying to say.
Some of us are trying to build the stacks.
Yeah, I have stacks, and I actually spent a couple of weeks going through them and throwing away and giving away a ton, so that I have, and I still have
Wait.
too many.
You didn't burn them?
Some of them I set on fire.
Any of the ones
really
that you
what
put
you
on
wanna
my list, don't get rid of them. You need to bring them.
No,
down here.
I didn't put
Okay.
it. Yeah, anything that I told you to read, I did not get rid of course. We got comments there. You gonna
Do
read?
we have? So did we get this one?
We got that.
We got that one. Okay, all right. So super chats. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
As a scientist, all I can say is great circles maps. Great circles maps.
We'll think on that.
Is this a pun?
Is this a riddle?
There's a wink there.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Winking face. Well, many maps are made with great circles. I don't know. Next is Viper Crest, 200 hard knocks. Cold hard knocks. He says, you are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you so much.
And I think it's like 40 US or 40 something US.
Oh, okay.
Like that. That's very much appreciated.
What are they? Do we know what those are? Wonder what what kind of money that is.
I did look it up at one point. I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll just guess. Norwegian orchid kites. All right.
All right, we're done. Is that it?
Yep. Norwegian.
I can read one more, maybe.
Norwegian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got one more. And yeah, it's really hard to follow the chats and listen to if Russ is reading an email and I watch the chat, I get the chat. So I can't look at it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
With the female brain that I have,
You can do both.
I can. But
I
even
know.
still, with my amazing abilities, it's tough. And then the blinding lights and the beer.
Yeah, the beer doesn't help. I
Well-
just can't do it at all.
Guys, the next 5 emails are enormous tomes. So
We'll just pick one.
Maybe we just wrap it up. Or I
Oh.
could find. Yeah. Well, that one's not too bad. That's pretty long.
My
right?
vote is we do one more email.
Oh, okay. Frankenstein with another $10. It says, my last try. Google Nazca Great Circle Map. I see.
Okay.
We shall Google this.
Okay.
Okay.
You're doing it? Okay.
Nazca Great.
Here we go. This is a short one. I can read this one.
What is it? Great Circle what?
Nazca Great Circle Map.
Map. Looking it up.
The Nazca Great Circle Map hypothesis.
Ah. Wait. Okay, images are not good. Okay, all right, we'll check this out. This looks like a deep dive. I'll check this out in my spare time.
Yeah, we will check this out.
Cool. I've kind of heard of something like this, but
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know
on
the details.
It's on Graham Hancock's website. It was written by
Is it?
Grimison. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
And then someone asked me if it was what was it? Pole shift or where is it? Or earth reversal. That by Michael Lester. Let's see. Like the earth flipping over? No. The pole flipping over? No. The crust rolling around on the earth with the pole staying the same? That's kind of, I think that's possible.
Yeah, he doesn't mention crustal shift. He asks
Yeah, I
about
know.
polar shift or earth reversal. I'm not sure.
Polar shift could be magnetic?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Definitely has happened.
Magnetic, yes. Magnetic excursions and reversals have
The
taken
earth
place.
flipping over? No. I think the crust shift is the most likely of any of those types of things happening. So, to answer the question.
I think she's saying that if I watch the Holy Grail in her language, that it will be funny. I think that's what she's saying.
Who?
Lee.
Oh. Hey there.
Is that what she...
She says she'll make it funny for you if you watch it in her language. I don't know because she told me that she watched it in her language and didn't laugh. So I'm not sure that it's funny.
What?
I'm going to give it another go.
The jokes don't translate.
Yeah, I guess not.
All right, one last email and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
Thank you guys for putting up with all this.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
All right, another phone dream. See, there is a theme here. Phone dreams and scientists suck, right? This is
Yep. That's what's going on.
phone dream.
That's what's going
From
on.
Jordan. Brothers, Tiny Giant, a.k.a. Ogre here. Kyle said to email you about phone dreams, so I immediately paused the sode and started typing. This was a while ago, so I don't remember details, but I definitely dreamed of texting back and forth with someone on a modern cell phone, and it was working just fine. I thought it peculiar as I never dreamed of a phone before, and this was months after I first heard Russ talking about it. I'm sure you're getting a ton of emails about phone dreams now, so good luck with that. Love y'all. Always have, always will. From
Not
Jordan.
really. There's been a few. Just
Yeah.
like a very, very few.
Yeah, and lots of them are like, well, I was trying to find my phone in the dream,
Yeah.
or like it wasn't working.
It doesn't
or-
work right.
Yeah,
All that kind of stuff.
Like it was similar to this. Even the coffee dream that Donna sent. You know, where she's like running around trying to plug something in to get the coffee grinder to work, and that doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. It's interesting. And yes, people do dream of their devices. I've had several since that early episode where I was like, I don't remember ever having one. I've had quite a few. One with a tablet, but they never work properly.
Yeah. I feel like that's fairly normal for me. That things just don't work properly in my dreams.
I've been trying to think about this, and I can't recall any dreams where I've...
Most
So
often.
maybe I haven't had them yet.
Most often for me, I just can't punch hard enough. This happens. I get in this fight in my dream, and I'm like, "Ah!"
Oh,
Yeah.
barber fighting.
And I'm just like, it just
It's
doesn't
just, like,
do
so
any
weak,
damage.
It doesn't do any damage. Yes.
And I'm just like pounding, just like, rah, and it never works.
Yep.
Barber fighting has seeped into your dreams.
But it isn't slow mo. It's like it's just
not
like
slow-mo,
Like
it
you're
just-
just like ah, and it's like
Does no damage
Yeah.
at all.
Okay.
Or I have the dreams where you're trying to run and for
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason gravity isn't working
Can't
and your
do
feet
it.
don't like give you traction
Got
on
no
the ground.
traction.
Yeah.
Things just don't work right in
That's
dreams.
right. That's
yeah,
the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, thank you all for
DC Rogers, $20. Thanks for all you do. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
guys. Yes, thank
We
you guys
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.
We do. And yeah, thanks for coming to the live streams. I love these
Don't
communications
forget PayPal
episodes,
super
and they're
chats.
even more fun now that we're doing them live. Which
Yeah.
one? Is it that one?
Yes,
that
Troy. Troy sent me a PayPal super chat, and I can't copy this text. Dang it! I was trying, my bro. I can't do it.
What were you supposed to do?
He's he sent me a link to an image,
Oh.
and I can't open it. I can't copy the text.
Oh, okay.
I could type it out,
Thanks for the donation, buddy.
but I do appreciate the donation, and I appreciate all of your work on on the graphics for us. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
yes,
For
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Huge asset.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for this week. We love you guys.
Always have.
Always will.
I love you the most.
Good night, Adamu.
Get back to work.